Hello and welcome back to the channel. We are here with another episode of 1899, episode 2. Last time on 1899, I have new theories. It's amazing just how much you do miss, because the creators do put so much detail into this show, and during reactions you might miss a few things. But I went and rewatched the episode as well as through editing, and I picked up a few things. So I do have some new theories. In the opening of the episode, we hear Mara speaking about the mind and how vast it is in comparison to the ocean and the open sky and so on. And then we do get a glimpse of her dad, who supposedly has her locked into some mental asylum, right? And then later in the episode, she does have a flashback of the mental institution she was staying in, and her room and the room number was 1011. And interestingly, the cabin number that for the room she's staying in on the ship is also 1011. So my theory is that we are in fact exploring the depth of Mara's mind, at least for the moment. I'm not sure if that involves every person on the on the ship, but I suppose she did have some traumatic experience, and I do think this is actually the Prometheus and the passengers of the Prometheus that we're looking for. Those are the exact passengers that we're following now, and I'm not sure how exactly, but I do think we're exploring some traumatic event that happened, perhaps when a ship did pass through the Bermuda Triangle, and those people who survived came back changed or affected in some way. And we are following Mara as she tries to unravel what happened on the actual ship. We're following it in her mind, how she experienced that. Now I'm not sure whether that involves whether the dream, maybe she's having some simultaneous dream with every single person, but I doubt it. It could be possible. This show does appear to be going more in a supernatural direction and less so sci-fi, as Dark did. So that is impossible. That is very plausible for this story, that maybe everyone is having the same mental psychosis. So that is a possibility, although I do lean more on the side that perhaps certain persons that we've met are a figment of her imagination, while others are maybe having a dream of their own. The woman who was arguing with her husband, for one thing, she had the earrings that she was wearing were the symbol for the I'm assuming the Bermuda Triangle, and who was it? Well, I guess the captain as well, right? Because he had the letter that he possesses. It appears to be the same letter that Mara has as well, and they don't seem to have any connection. But I feel they while they've never met, they do seem to have a connection to each other, right? Or an understanding at the very least. So I'm not quite clear what their ties are, but both he and the woman arguing with her husband appear to, I don't know, be closer. Well, they've not met. The woman and Mara have not met as yet. So that'll be interesting to see when they in fact do. But that is my theory for the moment, that yes, we are in fact following the passengers of the Prometheus, and Mara in her mind at present is having some mental breakdown, and we're exploring the depths of her mind and what she experienced on that ship. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. It is gonna be interesting. We of course did meet the that creepy kid, and I for a brief moment, I did wonder whether the kid and the stranger that climbed aboard our ship were the same person, maybe, and he aged up or something to that effect, or another version of him. But I'm holding fast to what the writer said about not wanting to do time travel again. So I'm thinking perhaps it's a separate person. But there was the insect that led Mara to the cabin that the boy was that was locked in, and then we see the same insect again, opening the door for this stranger, and because they keep focusing on the the cabin numbers on the ships, there must be some relevance to it. And he passed Mora's room. He did seem to glance at it, and then it dawned on me that the Prometheus only had 1,000 passengers. Why is there a room that goes in the 2,000s? Um, and if I'm sticking to my theory that these are the passengers of the Prometheus, and there shouldn't be a room number that goes to 2,000, which only lends credibility to my theory that they are in fact in the mental institution. Just not quite sure how everything ties together completely, but I like that theory, so I'm gonna hold on to that for a bit. All right, guys. Episode 2 of 1899. Before we get started, if you want to show your support for the channel, remember to hit the like and subscribe button. And without any further delay, let's check it out. Okay, interesting. You open with the captain this time around. And we're not on the ship. That's his wife, perhaps. Oh no, don't go into the creepy house. Never go into the creepy house. Is that how they died then? They're not at sea.
Wake up.
Okay. Yeah, definitely they're in a mental institution. Mara heard her father, he heard her. Hold on, man. I'm
Wir
coming.
haben das hier vor ein paar Minuten von der Reederei erhalten.
Sink ship.
Wir haben versucht, Kontakt aufzunehmen.
Was that from the company?
Keine Antwort.
Or is it, is it from the crew?
Ich habe sowas noch nie gesehen.
Oh.
Ich habe keine Ahnung warum. Aber jeder Kompass an Bord macht das gleiche.
Oh, it's interesting. I didn't realize it was the same song that they did a cover of for the opening sequence. And I think that fits it a lot better. When I heard the song at the end of the last episode, it felt a bit out of place. And I think I spoke about it before, about finding a song that matches the time and the themes of the series. And I think the best way to do that is probably to do a cover of some of those songs. And they did that as well for the opening sequence. I didn't realize it was, the same song, just done differently. That's good. Yes, what is that object? He's not sleeping. Creepy people don't sleep. Yeah, creepy people don't sleep. Not sleeping. All right, thanks to the guy in the comments that made it explain to me that, the crew calling Oleg Polak was some sort of derogatory term. I actually didn't realize that. So them sending him up in the very first episode to pull the lever was like, okay, they don't particularly like him, so they call him names.
Kein Wort darüber.
How's he gonna? Oh, gonna be tough to keep that a secret,
I was actually looking for you. The boy, did he speak?
Good questions. She wouldn't know, or would she?
On the Prometheus, was there anything? Did you experience anything strange? What do you mean by strange?
Wondering if anyone's having any visions similar to what he's experiencing, or is he just losing it?
Do you hear that?
Hear what?
You're right.
Alright, Captain doesn't appear to be in a good state of mind at the moment. Hello, stranger.
I'm really sorry. Is this your cabin? I didn't mean to intrude, but I could hear noises inside. It sounded like someone was whispering.
Never seen you before.
Daniel Solis. I'm your...
All the time she's been on the ship and he's in the room next to her.
Laura Franklin.
Daniel. Okay, Daniel. So I was trying to get to the kid. Does he even need food? Giving it to her again. That's all he's here to do. Figure it out.
What is this?
You know, this is a sweet kid. I really hope nothing happens to her.
Til Amerika vil jeg overbevise mor og far om at lade mig gøre skolen færdig.
Seems to care about her brother and sister a lot.
Skal alle sammen hjælpe med at bygge kirken?
Parents don't appear to be all that great.
Jeg tror Gud vil have, at jeg skal være læge, for så er jeg altså nødt til at gå i skole.
You should.
Ved du, hvad dit kalder?
Du er ikke generet to i stedet? Eller leg med din dukke, eller hvad det må ellers blande af.
Så hvornår er det blevet så kedeligt?
Don't be mean to her. I know. Is
Eres
this
un hombre difícil de
Angel?
encontrar.
Yeah. Interesting. We never thought he would come down to the lower, you know, the lower decks, to the peasants. He looks at him like he's some object. Do not like him. I do not like him. Thinks because he's poor, he's something he can just possess and take. Especially his comment in the last episode about the scar suiting him.
Nos vemos, Kristen.
I'm sure Cressor doesn't speak Spanish, but you can tell what he means. I would stay away from him.
C'est effrayant, n'est-ce pas?
I really do find this fascinating because most of these passengers speaking to each other have no idea what the other is saying, but it's as I mentioned in the last episode, is that you can
Fascinant. Fleurs.
pick up a lot from just, you know,
Des maisons.
body language and tone.
J'aimerais tellement avoir la chance de visiter le Japon.
Right? Why does Lucien sound so fatalistic? Like I'll never be able to do that.
累呀，走吧。
Speak to her he speaks to her more kindly than he does his own wife.
C'est une petite oiseau exotique.
She's fascinating because she's speaking French now, but I don't believe she was speaking French when she spoke to Mara. So she speaks multiple languages. A few passengers do, and I think the ones that do are the ones that are very intriguing so far.
Regardez comme ça.
J'essaye de découvrir quel genre de temps vous êtes.
Ouais. Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire?
Je me demande si vous êtes le genre de temps qui serait intéressé par certaines...
It's to sell him the young woman or offer him some services. Why does this ship have over 2,000? Well, yeah, the captain did just mention that they never travel at full capacity. So just perhaps they only had 1,000 passengers on a Prometheus, but they had more rooms. But it's all still very strange for a company to operate like that. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, no. They finally meet. I did speculate, you know, when we got the photos, the set photos and so on, that these two might be a thing. Uh-oh. This is not a good look. Probably not how you want to meet. Oh, he was returning it. Okay. It's not going to be a great impression. Okay, now's your chance. Sneak out. I guess at this point he has nowhere to go because he's back on the ship, but he's not a passenger and he can't go with the crew because, you know, they instantly know he's not supposed to be there. Okay, he's out. Alright, the wheels in my mind are spinning and I'm thinking up some other theories to support the first, but it relies on the letter, and I've only seen two persons with the letter so far. You're losing it, Captain. This the room Daniel is in. Oh, no, I don't think so. It's a completely different location. They look frozen in time. Don't look at her. Oh, okay. I was expecting something spooky. Because you're dead, Nina.
Aber ich habe ihr gesagt, man kann niemand, der das Meer liebt, ans Land binden.
So he's always traveling.
Und wenn man Glück hat, dann schwimmt die nächste Flut ihn wieder. There's the insect again.
Oh. Oh, and the symbol. So was he in a room on the ship just now? I thought that was, I mean, obviously part of it was was all in his head, but finally got a reaction.
Where's the boy?
What happened on the Prometheus? What's wrong with that ship? Tell me!
Stop it!
I need to
It's
know!
not the way, Captain.
Get up!
I don't trust the kid either, but then sail away. Why are you still here?
She's dead. And I heard her voice. I didn't only hear her. I saw her!
Right, I think you need to calm down. You're not thinking straight.
I'm sorry.
Seems to want the kid. But why?
Effrayant, n'est-ce pas?
Still haven't figured out what kind of woman she is exactly.
Je voudrais pas vous faire.
Her husband said something about, you know, her not having to pretend anymore. What does that mean?
On dit toujours qu'il faut se méfier des apparences. Pourtant, c'est impossible, non? Je suis sûre que vous êtes fait votre idée sur moi au moment où vous m'avez vue.
That is true. Can tell a lot about people just from their attire and how they carry themselves.
Même ces oiseaux là-bas, ils sont leur propre prison. Ils peuvent pas échapper à qui ils sont. Et nous non plus.
Je vous ai déjà vu quelque part, non? Je m'appelle Clémence.
Clemens.
Jérôme.
Je te hais.
T'as raison.
Do they know each other?
Je fais mon idée sur toi. Au moment où je t'ai vu.
You should be careful, Jerome. You're still a stowaway on the ship.
Hey!
Yeah. I thought eventually someone would figure it out. Run, don't fight. Just run away. I mean, he's a fighter. Okay, so it was a crew uniform that he stole. So why did he have Lucien's information? You're not being smart about this, Jerome. You should have just run away and hide.
Weißt du, was wir mit blinden Passagieren machen?
Christa, mor leder stadig efter Ada. Hun har været væk i flere timer. Nu kan vi skæbe med at finde hende. Hvor har du den fra?
Kender.
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't.
Hvorfor tog du ned? Nu får ikke noget gratis af rige mennesker.
Exactly. He wants something, all right.
De burde få den faste job.
Been asleep for a while.
¿Por qué seguimos aquí? ¿Crees que van a enviar a alguien? ¿Enviar a quién? ¿La policía? Hay cientos de personas desaparecidas en ese barco. Nadie se va a fijar en nosotros.
So they have some trouble with the police from where they're coming from.
Iris, jeg tror, jeg er det hende. I kan tage, hvad I lyster. Du holder din beskidte finger for min bror. Hvis du nogensinde rører ham igen, så skal jeg fucking pække med dig.
I love her. Angel knows what you've been up to. Oh, well, sorry, what's your other brother's name? He knows what you've been up to.
No me juzgues. No te atrevas a juzgarme. Yo nunca he pretendido ser algo diferente a lo que soy.
So you're a perverted creep? Good on you, I guess. Okay, yeah, there's no passageway. So either the ship is changing or his mind is changing everything. Alrighty, ask him to check. Cool.
Und? Die Lauderäume sind halb voll. 2 fast leer. Captain. Wann
Can't stay here forever.
Kurs? Captain.
I didn't catch the name on the captain's letter. Hers says Henry. And Henry's who she's looking for, her brother. I'm guessing on his letter it's his wife. Or was it daughter? Alright. Let's see what he decides to do.
They're not telling us a thing. But that's what you get when you have a bloody German running this shit show.
Everyone please assemble in the...
I would think it's the opposite. Germans are known for being very efficient.
¿De qué tienes tanto miedo? Tengo miedo de que lo descubran. De que descubran el
What did you guys do?
que no eres realmente cura o que no eres realmente mi hermano.
Ah, okay. I call that.
Lo segundo probablemente ya lo saben todos. ¿De verdad piensas que alguien ahí fuera cree que somos hermanos?
So he's his, plaything.
Eres Ramiro. Un puto criado portugués.
Ah.
Porque todo el mundo está tan preocupado con sus propias miserias que a nadie le importa un carajo.
So this is his thing. He just finds people he believes to be lesser than him. So they're sort of his property to play with.
Usas a la
Until he
gente.
finds
No
a
te
new one,
importa,
of
no te
course.
importo yo, no te importo la puta persona.
Tell him, Ramiro. Now, why exactly is he running away from, I wonder? What did you do? Oh, what's that on his back? And my hatred of Angel only grows stronger. Yeah, but she's been missing for a while, right? Please don't let anything happen to her. No, don't touch it. Where is it leading her? I mean, I'm guessing to Daniel. God damn it. What did I say? Curse you, haunting music.
I've decided to turn the ship around and tow the Prometheus back to Europe.
No. No one will like this decision. He wants to take the ship with them back to Europe. Okay.
1,612 passengers and crew.
Well, I'd say 1,611 of those are against your decision to turn the ship around. Maybe you're the captain, but you cannot make choices against everyone else's interests.
You kinda can.
I've made my decision.
This is insane.
You're not going to change my mind.
I still don't see what you would hope to accomplish by taking the ship back to Europe. If they're trying to hide something, then, you know, the ship is still theirs. When you get back home, they'll just sink it and hide it.
I got this letter in a package, along with a picture of my family.
Okay, yes, so coming together. I think I'll speak a bit more about it towards the end. But I think a few people are given this letter.
What does Prometheus have to do with my family?
People who have lost something and told that, you know, they can find it at this specific location perhaps, or if they travel this specific route.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm insane.
All hell is about to break loose on this ship. Because everyone aboard appears to be hiding something. Crewmate stripped him of his command.
Vielleicht sollten wir es einfach machen.
Was machen?
What did you guys do with Jerome?
Vielleicht.
What's he looking at?
Captain, ich glaube, Sie sollten besser mitkommen.
Uh-oh. Please don't tell me they found her. Oh yeah, the photo of her. Okay. Either he's the kid or he's her brother, but she doesn't seem to recognize him. So I don't know. So I don't know which. Please don't be the little girl. Please don't be the little girl. God damn it, it's the little girl. Yeah, all hell is about to break loose on the ship. People below deck will think it's someone, the upper elites, who did something to her. Oh, okay. This is strange. Alright, episode 2 of 1899. Great episode. Another fantastic episode. This series is truly phenomenal so far. I'm absolutely enjoying it. I'm thinking more and more that my theory that I speculated about at the very beginning of this video is looking more and more to be true. And that we are exploring the depths of someone's mind, whether it be Mora or the captain. I think one or two or both of them are in a mental facility, and that's what's being explored here. The last photo, or last few minutes of the episode, we see a footage, I guess, of several characters on a wall as if they're being watched or monitored. That that was a bit odd, but it could again tie into what I was saying before. Maybe they are patients and they are being monitored, but they're clearly not in a room, so how are they seeing the passengers in that way? Technology could not have advanced far enough at this point in time. So I'm not sure what is going on. My best bet would be, again, leaning back into my theory, is that somehow they're able to monitor their thoughts and the experiences that they're having at the mental facility, and they're seeing what these persons are experiencing. That's my wild theory. It's going to be one of those cases where it's a bit difficult to tell what is real and what's not, and I think they made that pretty clear when we were following the captain throughout this episode. The room that he encountered his family in, and then it changed when he tried to re-enter that room again. So we're going to be moving between reality and some construct of the mind. We're not sure at what points which characters are creating this, but I feel strongly that is what is happening. I think that's the strongest theory that I have working with at the moment. And what I'm curious to know more about is whether clearly the company is involved in this somehow, right? And maybe that's the larger theme that we're not really clear on just yet, or we haven't gotten a lot of information at the very least. At the very beginning of the first episode, Mara does say to her father that she knows what he's been doing with these ships. So I do think her father is the one that owns the company or the ships, and are sending passengers along this route. I'm not sure what the captain hopes to accomplish, assuming that this is not in his mind and it is in fact real. Not sure what he hopes to accomplish, because if he does believe they are hiding something, taking the ship back to Europe would still, they could still just sink it as soon as it arrives, or hide whatever, because it's still their property. I don't think anyone would be able to investigate anything before they have a chance to destroy it. And then there's the other aspect of it, which is, again, maybe a secondary theory, but it could be a part of the first theory, which is that the persons who have these letters, and maybe we'll find other individuals who actually possess the letter as well, that all the members of this ship, or at least some of the members of the ship, were given this letter, and they're all people who have lost something, and were given this letter and told that if they take this trip, then they'll be able to find the thing that they lost. Maybe Mara's dad had something to do with this. Could be an experiment, because he knows about the triangle and what effects it has on people, and he wants to know more, or at the very least what he can gain from it. And these people who have lost something, in the captain's case, it was his family who he lost. So he of course got the letter supposedly from his wife, and who knows, I'm not quite clear how the rules work in this world just yet, whether it is possible for someone from the beyond to be reaching out to them. But I don't think that's the case, if only because I think if the triangle is some sort of entity, some sort of unknown entity here, his family killed themselves somewhere else. They didn't die at sea or around the triangle or anything of that effect. So I don't think that's the case. I think someone is just preying on their suffering and giving the impression that they can find what they're looking for if they take this trip and go through this particular passage. As the captain says, the ship is sailing with it's not sailing with a full passenger complement. Only 1,000 passengers at the very least, and then crews added to that, or just over 1,000, I think he said. But there's no money to be made by the company by sailing with half the number of passengers that you're capable of carrying. So why are they sending ships along this route? Even when the Prometheus disappeared, they still sent another ship. So what is the purpose of that? So it all goes back to what I'm thinking, is that Mora's dad is the one that owns the company, and he has a vested interest in figuring out what the effects of the triangle is, or he has some idea what what impact it has on people, and he's deliberately getting these people who are broken or who have lost something, and he's sending them through here so he can figure it out for himself. Yeah, so that's my working theory for the moment. Still think some of the characters are in the mental institution and they're being monitored, or their minds are being monitored. I don't know how that works. Still trying to figure it out, but the more information we get, the better. I watched this episode again as I did the first to see if I did in fact miss anything. But yeah, a lot of interesting characters, and we're getting to know more and more. Jerome and damn it, keep forgetting her name, the married woman. I think I did theorize again from the set photos several months ago. And one of the things I love about this series is, as I mentioned throughout, it's that because they speak different languages, body language plays a huge role in this series. And I hypothesized about the same thing with the set photos that were released several months ago, and which is why I did that analysis, because I felt as though the characters were, based on how they were positioned, based on their body language, that it did tell a story. The one in green dress, I did say at the time that she's going to be one of the more interesting characters that I want to see, and she has not disappointed. She approached Lucien in this episode and propositioned him, or at least not for herself, but gave him an option if he had an interest in the Japanese woman, supposed Japanese woman, because apparently she is not Japanese. And it was the same between Jerome and the married woman. In the photos itself, there was a glance that the actress was giving to that character. She wasn't looking at her husband. I did figure that they were married, but she wasn't looking at her husband. She was looking across to Jerome, and that was the basis for my theory at the time. I didn't think there was a shot in hell it would be accurate, but I do think those characters are going to become close over time. And so I suspect the same thing will happen with Lucien and the young geisha. We'll see how that works out. Angel and Ramiro. Okay, I'm getting the names. Angel and Ramiro. Again, I said it in the last episode. They did reveal to us that Ramiro is not a priest, but I didn't think they were brothers either. Not that they couldn't be brothers. It was just the nature of the relationship. Again, body language tells a lot. And so it's revealed in this episode that they are in fact lovers. Ramiro was his Portuguese peasant back home. So Angel comes from wealth, clearly. He acts very spoiled. But he obviously has a very destructive nature where, he just sees things that he believes are beneath him, and he'll he picks them up and makes them feel special, and then he uses them because he likes to feel wanted, but he'll quickly discard Ramiro. He's already found a new plaything, but Ramiro being in the position that he was in, I think you see it a lot in some abusive relationships, right? You at times feel as though you've become dependent on that person, and you mistake, I guess, lust for something else, because it's not that Angel cares for him. I don't think he does at all. He just that's not going to end well. It's not going to end very well. I'm not sure Ramiro is jealous enough to harm what's his name, Krister, if he's jealous enough to do some harm to him or not. Whatever the case might be, I think things are going to take a horrible turn for some of the passengers throughout this show. We already have our first victim in the little girl, who I actually like because she seemed very perceptive and very kind. I was hoping nothing would happen to her, but as soon as I said it, they killed her. Thanks to Daniel. We have no idea who Daniel is or what his agenda is, but he certainly wants the child that came from the Prometheus. But I guess the thing, my question though, if he came from the Prometheus, then he already had his opportunity to find Daniel. He was just locked in a cabinet. Unless he couldn't get to him, or I'm not sure how or why not. But he snuck aboard our ship before the kid was even brought back. Yeah, so still not clear what his agenda is, but he has already killed one person. I'm sure there will be many others. Not sure what the captain will do. I think the passengers are going to push back, especially since some of them are in fact running from the law, now that we know. And I suspect many others are hiding a lot of secrets as well. So I don't think things are gonna go as smoothly as the captain had hoped. I thought at this point actually that his crew might have tried to, strip him of power. I mean, they aren't pirates, so it's not going to be like a mutiny or anything like that, but they might decide that he's unfit to be captain based on his current mental state. But that hasn't happened as yet, but they still seem hell-bent on sinking the ship, so maybe they'll try to do that. But yeah, very, very interesting. Very interesting. I did think initially, I mentioned in the last episode that, are we going to be spending the entirety of the season on this ship? But they've done it in such a way, because it's more psychological, you can still be on the ship and then travel to different locations, because they're not physically there, or the characters are not physically there. So we will be going to different locations, it seems, while the characters are themselves on the ship, and I really like that. Yeah, another fascinating episode of 1899. Be sure to post down below in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to support the channel, and I'll see you for the next one.